Hey everybody, coming to you from an undisclosed location which might be known as my office, although I've switched my angle around today. I'm actually recording on Sunday the 7th, Sunday the 7th, but for release on Monday the 8th, because I teach tomorrow, and I wanted to make sure that I recorded something so you could have it while I'm out teaching the young minds of the world, as they say. Wanted to talk a little bit today about character creation, because I spoke yesterday about world building and about the way that characters interact with the world, and it got me thinking a little bit about how we make characters that actually work well in the first place. Because the reality is that when you're a beginning writer, a lot of times what you imagine an interesting character is someone pulled directly from your life who is equally interesting, right? So you think about someone like, well, my grandfather has all these amazing stories and he's this really cool guy and, I want to tell a story about him. And the problem is that when you take your grandfather from real life and put them onto the page, it's often the case that something gets lost. And part of the reason for that is that whatever the idea is that you have in your head, a combination of the way that your grandfather looks, the way that he sounds, the way that he moves around in space, the way that you understand him emotionally. Those are all things that are sort of shorthands in your head, which a reading audience that doesn't know this person is not going to have, which means he doesn't necessarily come across the same way on the page that he would to you. So what's the way to actually try to get a character that seems authentic and real, but in some way is going to spring from the page if it's not just going to be your grandfather? Well, first of all, you could certainly base characters or have elements of characters drawn from real life figures. There's no question about that. But the real way, I think, to make a character sing is to make sure that there are clear and evident motivations, drives. What is it that's actually interesting to the character? What is it that motivates them to get up and out and go? Are they the world-weary, noir detective type who has been at this for way too long, and yet they keep doing it because they feel like it's the right thing to do, as much as they've been disappointed and let down again and again and again, or whatever the mistakes might be? Or perhaps you're dealing with someone who is a brand new sort of an upcoming apprentice wizard, let's say, who's new to this whole thing and everything is wondrous and wild to them. His motivation or their motivation is to make sure that they can actually make something of themselves, that they can learn from what's around them. Or perhaps you may have someone whose motivation is just to protect their sister or their brother or their dog, some kind of motivation that gets them moving. If you can make sure that a character's motivations, which can change over time, by the way, those motivations are clear to your reading audience, you'll make them real for the audience, and more importantly, you will make your readers care about them. And that, at the end of the day, is the most important thing, to make them care. Just a few thoughts. I'll have more to say about this later, but until then, have a good week.